Hello students, welcome to Commerce 1, first year Commerce class. In our previous class, we were discussing about partnership firm features. We have discussed only 4 points. We had the introduction of partnership firm, how it comes into existence, what is the condition of number of partners as per Partnership Act 1932, then what is the meaning of unlimited liability, what is implied authority, we have discussed in our previous class. Now we are going to discuss about the remaining features of partnership firm. Okay. Existence of lawful business, it is given. Existence of lawful business. Existence of lawful business. What do you mean by lawful? Business, you know. Existence means which is in continuation. Existence means which is in continuation. जो चल रहा है उसको बोलते existence. Lawful. Lawful means as per rules and regulations or in simple terms we can say legal. What is legal, ma? When we follow rules and regulations it becomes legal. When we don't follow rules and regulations it becomes illegal. Okay. Say for example, if you are driving the car or the bike and you have got a valid license, so your driving is legal. Means you are following the rules and regulations. And you are driving the bike or car without license, it is illegal. Means against the rules. Which is according to the rules, which is as per rules and regulations, it is called as legal. Which is against the rules, it is called as illegal. Clear? So for example, we have started a college, we have got the registration number, we are affiliated to Board of Intermediate of Telangana, all the registration formalities are done, we are recognized by Government of Telangana, then we are legal. Suppose if we do not do all these things, formalities are not done, we are not registered, it's some fake college, only for namesake, some board is kept and we are running, means it is illegal. Okay. So here existence of lawful business means every partnership firm, yes, we are forming together, we are associated together, all the partners are coming together, they are contributing the capital. Clear? We are following the rules of 1932 Partnership Act. It's all fine. But after formation of partnership firm, you have to do a legal business. Legal business means which is accepted by the law. Like you manufacture pens, not guns. So pens are legal, guns are illegal. Okay. Like you can make crackers for Diwali, but you cannot make bombs. Understand? Try to understand the meaning of legal and illegal. Okay. So you manufacture the medicines, not the drugs. Understand, ma? You establish or arrange a ground, you ask the children to play cricket and collect some fees. You start a sports club. Okay. And you allow the people to play cricket or hockey or some other volleyball, some sports, and you take money from the members. It is a legal business. But you don't start a place where gambling is done. Okay, illegal speculation is done like playing cards or satta or some other card gambling games are there. Most of you may be knowing on social media or in newspapers. Many times we get the news that task force people have arrested 4 people or 5 members from so and so place who were engaged in this illegal activities. That means that was also a group, they were also partners. But why the police caught them? Why the police have arrested them? Because they were doing illegal business. So remember that even though you form a firm, you are associated, you have got contributed to the capital. So what you have to do is conduct a lawful business. Means always carry out only those business activities which are accepted by the Indian law. What are written in our Indian constitution, what are the goods we can manufacture, what are the services we can provide, that only you can do. Okay. Say for example, if I establish a college and I am teaching MEC, CEC, I am teaching you commerce, this intermediate college is okay. But if I say that I am a partnership firm, I will establish a college and I provide teaching how to make bombs and how to create weapons, okay, all that criminal knowledge if I give you, so that will be my college. If I say that college of criminal studies, am I accepted? So next day I will be in Chenchalguda. Okay? So because it is illegal, though it is a college, here also we are establishing a college, but in this college I am teaching commerce. But in the other way, if I am clubbing some members, inviting some students, and I tell them how to do crime, various crimes, if I am providing them teaching, training, how to pick the pockets, how to snatch the chains. If such type of training is given, then the directors and teachers will be in prison. So I hope you understood it. So always we have to do a legal business. That is the 5th characteristic of partnership firm. Existence of lawful business. Next. Utmost good faith is very, very important. Utmost good faith means every partner should have confidence on the other partner. We have to believe the others. That means having confidence on others is the basic foundation, basic motivation for continuation of partnership firm. In place of faith, if you have doubt, that is going to destroy your partnership firm. Means you need to have bharosa on other partners. In what way you should have the confidence? That if other partner is even on the cash counter, you should not doubt that he may steal away the cash. If he is speaking to customers, you have to think that the partner is speaking to customers in order to improve the business only. You are not supposed to think in a negative manner. He may be doing some other business, he is destroying our business, he is causing damage to our business. You are not supposed to think like this. Every partner has to believe the other partner. Suppose here in this example I have given A, B, C, D are the 4 partners. Everyone should believe the others. Okay. If we have doubts, then it is not possible at all. Suppose if A doubt be that B on sitting counter, he may take away 500 rupees cash per day, or he is going to bank, may withdraw excess money over the requirement, or he may misuse the funds and assets of the firm for his private purpose. Like that, if you start doubting the other partners, then partnership firm cannot continue. The main essence, the main essence for continuity of a partnership firm, I hope all of you know what is essence. The masala what we add to a dish. Whenever you are preparing something, maybe curry or some rice, some biryani, so आप लोग क्या करते? You know, if you are well versed in cooking or you ask to your parents, so if you want to have the food tasty, so we'll add some essence into that, various masalas, powders, some things. So we get good taste. That is the main essence we speak. So if that is not there, we don't enjoy the food. We say the food is very ordinary. Clear? So for every dish there is a special essence. Similarly, for every partnership firm, good faith is the essence. If partners lacking confidence on others, means no doubt within few years the partnership firm is going to collapse, means band ho jata. It's very difficult to continue a partnership firm when partners do not have the confidence on each other. That is what called as good faith. Means you have to believe the other partners. Utmost good faith means each partner has to believe the other. Utmost good faith means each partner has to believe the other. What with respect to anything, maybe depositing money into bank, with respect to speaking to customers, selling, buying, okay, taking cash, payment of salaries to employees, any activity maybe, you have to believe that's it. Once you are associated, that is the reason you see, while selecting the partners itself, you have to take utmost care. Whether they are honest or not, whether they have got good business experience or not, whether they give 100% in improving their business, etc., etc. After considering all the factors only, you have to enroll, you have to associate together. But after association, you are not supposed to doubt. Initially only you take the decision whether he can be admitted or not. Suppose A, B, C, D are there. Suppose you see that D is doubtful, that means he is not good person, he has got some criminal background or something problem, he is not good at business. So don't take him. If you have taken him, believe him. This is the point. Next. Principal and agent relationship. Principal and agent relationship. Here, principal means not college principal. Actually, in terms of business, in terms of commerce, principal is the person for whom we are working. Principal is the person for whom we are working. Agent is the person who is working on behalf of someone else. Agent is the person who is working on behalf of someone else. Say for example, I have to take driving license, or say I have to take passport. Now I don't know how to complete all the formalities, how to fill the documents, and how to go to office, etc., etc. All that activities I do not have time. So I will take someone's help. So on behalf of me, someone will go to that office and will bring all the papers. He will fill all the forms. Just he will take only my sign. Then we will submit, and only on a particular day, whenever it is required, whenever it is compulsory, he invites me and just they will take the photograph, and remaining formalities he will complete, and he will see that I will get the passport, whether driving license. So that person is working on behalf of me. He is called as agent. I will become the principal. Okay. So for example, here I am the employee. I have to get admissions to Sri Medhavi Junior College. So I will go to different schools and different parents. I will tell them what are the qualities of Sri Medhavi Junior College, and I will give advertisements, publicity to this college. I will convince the parents to join their wards into this college. Then I am the agent for this college. College will become the principal because I am working for the college. So the person who is working is called as agent, and the person for whom we are working is called as principal. So I am working for college. College becomes principal. I will become agent. So similarly here, in a partnership firm, all the partners are working for the firm. Suppose in X Enterprises, okay, the partnership firm name is X Enterprises. So in X Enterprises, A, B, C, D are the partners. So A, B, C, D are working for X firm. So this firm will act as principal, partners will act as agent. Okay, firm will act as principal, partners will act as agent. That is the reason we say that in partnership firm, principal and agent relationship is there. Next, restriction on transfer of shares. Restriction means, what is the meaning of restriction? Restricted area, like that it is written. What is the meaning of restricted? Means you are not allowed freely. Restriction means stoppage. Where you are not allowed to do is called as restriction. So restriction on transfer of shares means, for example, in the firm X, just now we have seen A, B, C, D are the partners. A, B, C, D are the partners. This is the firm X. They have named it as X, like it is X Enterprises, X Corporation, whatever it may be, some X business. So the name of the firm is X. This A, B, C, D are the partners. Now, restriction on transfer of shares means no partner of a partnership firm is not allowed to transfer his share of capital, his share in the business, to other persons, whether to his family members or friends, without the consent of other partners. Consent means acceptance, okay, permission. So, for example, Mr. A, his son is there, A, okay. A's son is small a. Suppose after establishment of the business for 2 to 3 years, if Mr. A says that I want to visit foreign country, or I am going out of country, or I have got a government job, on behalf of me, my son A will become the partner, then B, C and D must give the acceptance. They have to accept it. Yes, okay. On behalf of you or in the place of you, your son can join. Your son can be admitted. Like that, these people have to give permission. B, C, D should permit. Then only A can become the partner. If any one of the partners says that no, we expect you only as the partner because we don't know what is the capacity of your son. Sorry, your son is not accepted as partner means that's it. You cannot transfer. That is the problem. Restriction on transfer of shares means you are not allowed to transfer your share of capital to your son or your family members or to any of your friends without the permission of the other partners. Okay. If remaining partners agree, you can transfer. If even any one of the partner disagree, means he says no, then you are not supposed to do it. That is what called as restriction on transfer of shares. Then voluntary registration. Voluntary registration. What do you mean by voluntary? Means without any force. Voluntary means without any force. Sometimes you also in schools, you will become volunteers in some program. What do you mean by volunteers? You will help the others without taking any salary, without taking any money. Okay. अपने आप कुछ help करते दूसरों को. Is called as volunteer. You are given some responsibility where you come forward to contribute for the success of that event. So voluntary means when something is not enforced is called as voluntary. Okay. So it is free, means it is your wish. When completely depends upon your wish, it becomes voluntary. Not forced by someone. Registration means going to the government, getting the permission, submitting your documents and getting a registered number is voluntary, means your wish. As per Partnership Act 1932, it is not compulsory for any business firm which is in partnership firm to register their firm. They can do their business activity without registration also. Clear? For cooperative societies, it was compulsory. For sole trading, no registration. Joint in the family, no registration. As and when you want to start, you can start. Similarly, partnership firm also. Here the only essentiality is agreement. There must be agreement among all the partners. A, B, C, D should agree and write down the documents. Document what we have discussed earlier. Even in the next class also we will be discussing in detail what is a partnership deed. There should be a written agreement among all the partners. How much amount of capital they are going to contribute, what will be the name of the firm, what will be the nature of the business, everything they will write down. That we discuss later. So only agreement is required. If you feel that by registering the firm there is some advantage, you will get some government protection, your reputation will increase. If you feel so, then you go for registration. Otherwise, it is not required. Voluntary means your wish. If you want to register, you go for registration. If you don't want, you don't go. Government is not going to make it compulsory. Okay. But generally people go for registration of partnership firm because you will have some protection from the government. Legal protection you will find. In case in future if you get some disputes among the partners, some property distribution problem, then you will have some support from the court if it is registered. If it is not registered, you won't get any justice from the court. Then common management. Common management means all partners are allowed to take part in the management. A, B, C, D, all partners. No one is exception. You are not supposed to say that no, B is not experienced, so B cannot participate in the management. C should not write the accounts. D should not speak to customers. No. You are not supposed to say this. Even if 10 partners are there, 19 partners are there, 20 partners are there, every partner is authorized to participate in the activities of business. They can check the books of accounts, they can write the accounts, they can visit the bank, can sign the documents, can borrow loan from the bank, can repay the installments, they can speak to the customers, they can visit the market, and they can get the goods, whatever it may be. If they wish to give you discount to the customers, they can give. So that's what happens. Common management means all the partners are allowed to participate in the management. This was not possible in joint in the family firm. Remember this point. Only Karta was the superior. Karta was the supreme. Only he has to manage. Other co-partners have to obey the orders given by Karta. But here it is not like that. No partner can order the other partners. Everyone is equal, irrespective of their capital contribution. You are not supposed to dominate. Suppose one partner may contribute 5 lakhs. Another partner may contribute only 1 lakh. That doesn't mean that a partner who has contributed more capital is the dominant one. He can dominate the others. No, it is not like that. Everyone is equal. Okay, we show the differentiation while distributing the profit. The partner who has contributed more capital will get more share in profit. The partner who has contributed less capital will get less share. But in the case of management, every partner is equal. That is the 10th point, common management. So with this, the partnership firm features are over. It is very important for 10 marks. Most frequently asked question from first year commerce. Explain the characteristics or features of partnership firm. 10 marks, first section. Out of 3 you have to write 2. Among them 1 will be there. I hope you understood this concept well. In the next class we will discuss about merits and demerits.